History is just a story of lies agreed upon. And today I wanted to have a look at the old world that used to exist, and it's still remnants of it all around us. But of course, they do their best to destroy it and to tell us that it never existed. But we have these things called world's fairs. Today we're going to have a look at Paris in 1855, in the time of, wooden carts and horses, hammers and chisels, no power tools, no steam engines, nothing like that. And we're going to have a look at what they created. So let's jump in and have a look at the Paris World's Fair in 1855. So the 1855 Great World Exhibition in France, also known as the First International French Exposition or Exposition Universale, or the Universal Exposition. Now, the open date was May the 15th, 1855, and it closed in November 15, 1855. So it ran for exactly 6 months. The total area was 34 acres, and 24 acres of that was undercover, which means 24 acres of buildings were built. The story is that they were built for this fair, this exposition. They say that they had 5 million people attend and paid attendees, 24,000 exhibits, and it cost 11.5 million francs to make, and they lost $8.3 million. So they didn't make any money out of it. I mean, how could they, right? They build it and then they knock it over and only run it for 6 months. So it's a little bit of a silly story. It says here, the World Exhibition in Paris would be a symbol of French prosperity during a 12-year period. Trade was grown by 300%. The exhibition, however, was not a major success since it was too close after the London exhibition and few technological innovations and low attendance. So 5 million people was low attendance back in the 1850s, apparently. And of course, a big question with, 5 million people, going to this exhibition is, it was in Europe. So, we don't have to, talk about ship travel, sea travel so much, but still a long time, right? No trains. Well, actually they had, no passenger trains really. So we're talking about horse and cart to get there. And then once they get there, where are all the hotels? Where's everyone staying? Where are all the toilets? Where's all the food coming from? There's a lot of questions that are left unanswered. Okay, so here's some pictures. Now, this was 1885, but not many photos, even though photography, first photo was 1827. So, like 50 years earlier, 60 years earlier, we don't get many photos, just all drawings for some reason. And until it sort of hits, the 1880s, and then we start getting photos coming in. So these are mostly drawings. Now, this is inside one of the buildings, the main buildings. As you can see, this is pretty much the same as the Crystal Palace from London, 1851. And these, big glass houses is what they were everywhere. So we're not sure what these were. I think that they were gardens for growing food, because here we go. We've got a big fountain in here. The one in England had like fully grown trees in it. So I believe that these were a part of where they were growing food, and they've just stripped them out. And as you can see, we've got this old world tech, these massively oversized machines. This is a crane, obviously. It looks like it's, there's no motor attached. It's like hand cranked. So maybe that's what they used to build this structure, right? And this is really what they were. They were just big exhibitions, showing the stuff that they stole from the old world. Like this. This photo is from the 1880s, but it is of one of the buildings that they claim was built for the 1855 World's Fair. And as you can see, this is, Greco-Romana, it's the same stuff we see everywhere, right? Oversized, mud-flooded windows, arches everywhere, columns, and just all this ornateness. everything covered, right? With, this is Lady Liberty. And of course, they're going to link that up, say, well, the French made the Statue of Liberty, but is this, all this iconography, it's really got nothing to do with France or what France was doing at the time, so we're told. This is from, if anything, we would link this to Greece and Roman times, which we're told are thousands of years earlier. All right, so there's a big disjunct here. And this, like I said, these statues, this artwork and iconography, it's everywhere over the old world and the world's fairs. They always have their keystones, their arches, their angels, always the same thing, and always huge. You can see these are fairly good sized trees. They're probably, 3 or 4 meters. Well, this is a gate, and you can see how big the doors are. Now, this is a shot from inside, and you can see the kind of stuff they had here. This is all glass work, right? Chandeliers, light fittings, vases, all this stuff, art everywhere, and everything is just so well made and so ornate. Even this little stand, or, it looks like a glass box with something in it. Look how ornate it is. Looks like it's even got a copper roof. And we, in the 1850s, how were they producing all this? Mass produce. Look, I mean, these fairs were full of this stuff. So what it looks like is they were showing off, all this stuff that they got from the old world and claiming it as their own. This is a painting, obviously, just to show again the scale of these buildings. I mean, this, right? This is ridiculous. You can see the size of the people here compared to this, window and this level, and then the next people up here. If they're building this temporary, why? Imagine how much materials it would cost to make it this big. It's just silly. And what do we have here? But something looking very, cathedral-like, right? Now, there's also things called relics and reliquaries and monstrances, which are very, very similar to this. And this also looks a bit like a fireplace. But what are fireplaces? And here as well, right? Look at this. Big spire, belfry. Of course, they've got their cross antenna. This is all tech. This is all tech. Old world tech, free energy tech, I think, as far as we can work out. And you can see this side thing here. Look, it looks like it's got transistors down here, wires and things going up. What's going on here? A lot more than we've been told.